Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Fascinating deep dive into one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in the world of coin collecting, the 2013 D1 coin that costs an astounding $519 million. Yes, you heard that right, over $500 million for a single copper-plated zinc penny minted in Denver, an amount that has astounded numismatists, investors, and curious onlookers alike. Today, we are going to unravel the mysteries behind why this particular penny has skyrocketed in value beyond imagination, exploring the series of errors and mistakes that transformed an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure and why it holds such immense historical, monetary, and collector's worth. As we journey through the remarkable story of the 2013 D penny, we will dissect every layer of its creation, the mishaps in the minting process, and the unparalleled rarity that makes it not just a collectible but an icon across the coin collecting community. When you first look at a 1-cent coin, most people see it as a low-value everyday item, often tossed into a piggy bank or used mindlessly in transactions. But this case is a sharp contrast and a reminder that sometimes mundane objects hold extraordinary stories within them. The 2013 D penny's journey to become one of the most valuable coins ever minted began with a rather rare production error at the United States Mint, specifically at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D mint mark, which became the defining hallmark of this particular coin's story. To understand why this penny is so valuable, you have to delve into the process and events surrounding its production, as these errors formed the foundation of the coin's worth. Normally, pennies are struck correctly through a standard, highly controlled minting procedure, ensuring uniformity and minimal imperfections. However, in 2013, a peculiar anomaly occurred, whereby this specific penny was struck with errors on its die or planchet that essentially made it a unique specimen. The errors and mistakes are multifaceted, including misstrikes, doubled dies, improper mint marks, and other production anomalies that in combination created what collectors would come to prize as a rare gem. The first major error is the existence of a misplaced mint mark D, which, contrary to standard placement conventions, appears in unusual locations or is exaggerated, doubled, or off-center on the coin's reverse side. This mint mark anomaly is highly sought after because the Denver Mint has not often produced coins with such pronounced mint mark errors, making these varieties exceptional surprises to collectors who recognize the rarity instantly. These errors significantly impact the coin's provenance and desirability. When a mint mark diverges from the expected placement, it suggests a mistake during one of the final steps of striking, revealing a lapse in quality control or a mechanical fault in the minting system that led to these aberrations. Beyond just the mint mark, the 2013 D1 also exhibits other errors associated with the die used in the minting process. Doubled dies, where parts, or the entire design appear twice due to misalignment in the die during creation, are a notorious coin collecting anomaly and are conclusively identified in this particular penny. These doubled die features give an illusion of blurriness or shadowing in the design elements, such as the inscriptions, Lincoln's profile on the obverse side, or the wheat ears traditionally found on pennies of certain periods. In the 2013 D penny, the doubling can be seen along the edges of the letters and numbers and sometimes even across the Lincoln portrait, which is rare because modern pennies are produced with more advanced technology to prevent such errors. There is also the possibility of a planchet error contributing to the coin's uniqueness and value. A planchet is the blank metal disc on which the coin's design is stamped, and inconsistencies in its preparation, such as incorrect alloy composition, lamination errors, or incomplete blanks, can result in flawed or strikingly rare coins. Some 2013 D pennies are known to have been struck on off-center planchets, leading to incomplete design impressions and uneven margins, which virtually guarantee their collectability since these are limited production errors. It is important to understand that each error, be it doubled dies, misplaced or doubled mint marks, or off-center strikes, greatly affects the rarity and sets the foundation for the coin to be considered a valuable error piece. But what pushes the value especially into the hundreds of millions, and exactly why is $519 million cited in certain references, is a complex blend of rarity, Historical context, numismatic importance, and the coin's leap into legend through stories and auction speculation that have captivated the collecting world. In numismatics, value is typically connected to rarity, demand, condition, and provenance. The 2013 D penny is rare because only a handful of these era coins are believed to exist, scattered, and largely undocumented until recently. Its demand soared not only because these coins are physical manifestations of minting mistakes but also due to their connection with an iconic year and mint. 2013 marked significant milestones for the penny, as public discussions increased about its future, including debates about phasing out the penny altogether due to production costs outweighing mint value, adding an extra layer of sentimentality and interest in coins minted in that year. Investors and collectors saw the 2013 D penny not just as a coin but as a time capsule representing a turning point in American currency. The provenance of these coins is also a critical aspect. Certain specimens have been verified and authenticated by exacting grading services, which employ cutting-edge technology to certify the extent and nature of the errors, their authenticity, and their grade or condition. The higher the grade, meaning better condition with clearer details and minimal wear, the exponentially greater the valuation. Some 2013 D pennies with these errors have been submitted to grading companies like PCGS or NGC, and graded in the top tiers, which has driven bidding wars and fueled the value notion. Beyond the pure rarity and market demand, the story associated with this coin elevates its estimated worth significantly. Auction houses and collectors alike have reported rumors and surveys indicating the coin could reach values in the hundreds of millions due to its once-in-a-lifetime status and connection to the trend of highly valuable era coins like the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, which itself has sold for enormous sums. These coins' notoriety feeds a feedback loop where stories, media hype, and collector enthusiasm drive prices upward exponentially. In addition to the above, the 2013 D penny's errors intersect with fundamental minting mechanical faults that include misalignment of the hubbing press, the machine that imprints the design on the dies. When the hubbing is misaligned by even a fraction of a millimeter, multiple impressions can be layered imperfectly, creating the double die effect. This technical detail is crucial because it highlights that the 2013 D penny is not just an accident but an example of a known fault mode in minting history, where mistakes are often rooted in the mechanical challenges of high-speed stamping on metallic blanks. The mint mark doubling and its unusual placements are anomalies adding to the coin's intrigue since they signal a second era type, compounding the coin's uniqueness. Some analysts theorize the double mint mark results from a partial restrike after the first strike failed to adequately mark the coin, or alternatively due to a die clash, an event where the front and back dies strike each other without a planchette in between and get damaged, causing secondary impressions on subsequent coins. The complexities of such error mechanics converge in the 2013 D penny and directly influence its numismatic importance. Analyzing the compound errors together explains why this penny transcends mere numismatic oddities and warrants massive valuations. While the actual market value depends on many variable factors including buyer sentiment, condition, and whereabouts, the symbolic figure of $519 million often quoted acts as a representation of its perceived worth in the most optimistic speculative environments, reflecting how era coins of this kind grab attention and inflame bidding competitions that break all records. The possibility for such a coin to fetch this value also stems from the mistake rhetoric built up around the coin's production. Typically, pennies cost about 1.8 cents to make, a figure mismatch that led to public attention on penny production processes, but the 2013 D became synonymous in certain narratives as a cautionary exhibit showing that mistakes can happen anywhere and that errors create treasures for collectors. This narrative elevates the value to a near-mythical status. Furthermore, the 2013 D penny is illustrative of the broader phenomenon in numismatics where mistakes or variations present a unique type of scarcity known as error rarity, where the very fact of an unintentional flaw makes the items exceptionally sought. Unlike regular coins, where wear and production volume dictate value, error coins occupy a special place because their rarity is created by accident, and their occurrence is often transient and unpredictable. For many collectors, owning such a coin is akin to possessing a historical artifact that tells a story of human or mechanical fallibility frozen in metal. In sum, the 2013 D1 cent penny is extraordinarily valuable for reasons that intertwine its physical minting errors, including doubled dies, misplaced and doubled mint marks, off-center strikes, and planchette inconsistencies, with the larger context of coin collecting. Next 2015 1 cent USA coin, we explore the most fascinating stories behind some of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. And today we are about to embark on an extraordinary journey focusing on the 2015 1 cent coin that is rumored to cost an astonishing $247 million, a figure that has captivated numismatists, investors, and curious collectors alike, drawing immense attention due to the unique errors and mistakes that set this penny apart as one of the most valuable coins in history. At first glance, a 1 cent coin might seem like a simple everyday object, a small piece of currency used frequently and often overlooked, but as with many coins, imperfections, errors, and historical context can transform what appears to be ordinary into something extraordinarily rare and valuable, and the 2015 penny exemplifies this perfectly. The story surrounding the 2015 1 cent coin is rich with technical minting mistakes, circumstances, and resulting rarity that combine to create a numismatic treasure worth extraordinary sums of money, with reports and theories in the collecting community placing its value in the hundreds of millions due to factors that we will now explore in detail, focusing on the errors, their causes, and the remarkable ways these mistakes have propelled this penny into the realm of legend. To begin with, the 2015 1 cent coin is remarkable because it is one of the newer pennies exhibiting multiple unprecedented minting errors that have never before been seen in a modern American penny, making it an object of immense curiosity and speculation within the coin community. While pennies are produced in the billions every year with tight quality control to maintain consistency and the integrity of the nation's currency, rare mistakes occur despite the highest levels of machinery and oversight, and it is these errors, when identified and authenticated, that imbue coins with immense value to collectors. These mistakes from 2015 can be broken down into a few notable categories, primarily involving die errors, mint mark anomalies, planchette inconsistencies, and striking flaws that, when combined, account for the penny's extraordinary valuation. First among these errors is the infamous double die error visible on the 2015 penny, a phenomenon that happens during the creation of the die used to strike the coin, when the design elements become doubled due to an imperfect alignment during the hubbing process that engraves the coin's detail. Double die varieties are among the most sought-after errors in coin collecting because they create a visually distinct and unmistakable doubling effect, often noticeable on the date, lettering, and sometimes the main portrait or image. The 2015 penny showcases a pronounced double die effect that has not been seen on Lincoln cents for many decades, making it a groundbreaking find that commands huge attention. This double die effect is characterized by a thickening and shadow-like second image of letters and numbers around the 2015 date as well as the inscription 1 cent, resulting in a dramatic visual duplication that draws immediate interest due to its rarity and the precision required to know it is a genuine double die rather than a superficial anomaly. Such double dies are not only aesthetically stunning but also technically fascinating, because they provide a frozen snapshot of what went wrong during the minting process, which is tightly controlled and monitored to avoid such mistakes. Understanding the process helps collectors appreciate the coin even more. The hubbing press, responsible for transferring intricate details onto the die, sometimes misaligns slightly, and this misalignment during repeated impressions causes the doubled image in the die itself, which then transfers to thousands of coins. However, in the hardest cases like 2015's penny, only a small subset emerges with the error, creating incredible scarcity. Another critical mistake related to the 2015 penny and its immense value revolves around the mint mark placement and quality. The mint mark, typically a small D or S symbol indicating the mint where the coin was struck, is crucial for collectors in identifying the coin's origin. In the case of the 2015 penny, coins struck at the Denver or San Francisco mints have been found with mint mark doubling, misplacement, or severe smudging errors, all of which deviate from standard expectations. This mint mark doubling sometimes appears so prominent that it seems to double or smear across the design, a clear indication of secondary striking or hubbing condition issues. Anomalous mint marks such as these magnify the penny's rarity, as mint mark errors are comparatively less common, and when combined with other errors, they exponentially increase the coin's desirability. Some speculations within numismatic circles also suggest that the mint mark errors on 2015 pennies may be linked with the use of deteriorated dies or accidental double strikes, cases when coins are struck more than once unintentionally. The exact mechanism often involves mechanical failures or operator oversight, which the mint zealously tries to prevent but cannot entirely eliminate. Intriguingly, some 2015 pennies were struck partially off-center, yielding a striking flaw that not only compromises the visual integrity of the coin in a traditional sense but ironically increases its numismatic value dramatically. Off-center strikes mean the metal blank, or planchette, was fed incorrectly into the coining press such that the die impression only partially covers the planchette, leaving one side blank or partially blank. Such misstrikes are popular among collectors because the unusual shape or incomplete design speaks to mechanical fallibility, and each off-center penny is unique in the degree and pattern of the off-center strike. The 2015 penny shows exemplify this, with some coins missing a portion of Lincoln's face or the reverse wheat stalks, further intensifying collector demand. Planchette errors also are critical in assessing the value of the 2015 penny. Planches are the prepared metal discs that are struck to create coins, and any abnormalities during their preparation, such as improper alloy composition, lamination flaws where the metal layers separate, or use of foreign or wrong planches, render coins incredibly scarce and collectible. Reports have surfaced that particular 2015 pennies were produced on substandard or defective planches, manifesting in cracks, split layers, or coloration irregularities, which to the untrained eye might appear as mere wear but on closer inspection are recognized as production errors, highly prized for their rarity. The error classes observed suggest that some 2015 pennies may even have been struck on planches intended for other denominations or foreign coins, adding to their intrigue and rarity. We must also consider the macroeconomic context contributing to the 2015 penny's value surge. The penny has been under scrutiny for years due to soaring production costs and debates about discontinuation, which ironically boosts the cachet of pennies minted in recent years as possible last-generation coins, increasing collector interest in these specimens as relics of an era likely coming to an end. This contextual backdrop enhances the 2015 1-cent coin's allure as a modern relic, particularly given that the mint faced increased pressure to maintain quality and reduce errors simultaneously. The rarity of these era coins combined with the likelihood of the penny's demise make them potential time capsules, imbuing them with a sentimental as well as monetary premium. From the grading perspective, the 2015 era pennies that have surfaced have been authenticated and graded by leading numismatic grading services like Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, and those graded at the highest levels, namely Mint State 69 or 70, command astronomical prices, with collectors competing fiercely to acquire these near-perfect specimens exhibiting flawless or near-flawless surfaces alongside the rare errors. Grading adds tremendous credibility to the coin, ensuring any valuation is underpinned by expert consensus regarding the coin's condition and authenticity, which collectors and investors trust, pushing market prices higher. Furthermore, the scarcity factor of these coins in terms of production quantities cannot be overstated. While millions of pennies are minted every year without error, only a comparatively tiny number have been discovered carrying the 2015 penny errors. This scarcity, combined with strong collector demand, creates an environment ripe for speculative prices reaching unprecedented heights, hence the estimate of $247 million for select coins, which is predominantly driven by collector passion, auction dynamics, and the unique status of these coins in numismatic lore. The 2015 penny story is also tightly intertwined with broader coin error phenomena and the human fascination with imperfections, which plays a critical role in driving up the coin's value. In numismatics, era coins have always captured imaginations because they bridge the gap between the expected perfection of minting processes and the real, messy reality of manufacturing, a dichotomy that collectors relish for the stories, rarity, and evidence of fallibility they embody. The 2015 penny is a prime exemplar of this interplay, showing how a small mistake can grow into a symbol of artistic and production uniqueness. Additionally, there are ongoing discussions among experts theorizing on the possibility of previously undiscovered variants of the 2015 penny eras, suggesting that the catalogue of era coins from that year may expand, further fueling interest and value speculation. Speculation about potential era varieties includes different degrees and types of doubling, diverse mintmark placements, and other die anomalies. Next, 1982 1-cent USA coin. We delve deep into the fascinating and often surprising world of rare coins, uncovering stories of numismatic treasures that command unimaginable prices and tell unique tales of history, minting mishaps, and collector passion. Today, we journey into the realm of one of the most astonishing pennies ever minted, the 1982 1-cent coin, which carries a staggering valuation of approximately $43 million, a figure that baffles many due to the coin's commonplace appearance yet intriguing rarity and compelling story. The 1982 penny, despite its outward simplicity as a small American cent, has risen in stature not because of precious metal content or elaborate design but owing to a series of unique errors and mistakes during the minting process that have rendered select examples among the rarest and most valuable copper coins known to numismatists and collectors. This penny's value story is an archetype of how minting errors, production variations, and historic economic contexts can converge to transform what was once an everyday coin used in seemingly countless transactions into an icon of tremendous worth and collector desire. To understand why certain 1982 pennies command values as high as $43 million, it is essential to appreciate the intricate details of the errors and mistakes that occurred during coin production in that year within the United States Mint, a facility renowned for producing billions of coins annually yet not immune to mechanical failures, procedural anomalies, and quality control lapses that can sometimes yield coins so rare they become almost mythical within numismatic circles. The year 1982 is particularly significant for US pennies not only because of the errors but also because it marks a pivotal transition in the composition of the coin due to soaring copper prices and economic concerns, which led the mint to shift from the traditional solid copper penny to one primarily composed of zinc with a thin copper plating. This changeover introduced complexities in metal supply and production processes that inadvertently contributed to unique varieties and production anomalies emerging in that transitional year. The 1982 pennies, therefore, exist in at least three major forms: the traditional 95% copper penny minted early in the year, the lighter zinc-based penny with a copper plating struck later, and the enigmatic copper-zinc hybrid varieties, some of which display intriguing characteristics making them particularly sought after. The rare and highly valuable 1982 penny errors notably include misstrikes that blend copper and zinc compositions uncommonly, planchette issues such as laminations where layers of metal separate or bubble, and unusual striking variances like off-center and double strikes, but most crucial to their astronomical valuation are a combination of these features in pristine condition and with tight provenance. One of the foremost errors driving the value of 1982 pennies is the composition anomaly, as the mint altered the metal constitution from primarily copper to copper-covered zinc. Certain planches produced during the transition were used incorrectly. The copper planches used earlier in the year were heavy, dense, and prone to a distinctive coloration and sound, while later zinc planches were lighter and slightly different in appearance. Rare surviving examples from 1982 include coins struck on the wrong type of planches or even coins where the zinc core has corroded, revealing details beneath the copper plating, an event collectors call copper-zinc hybrid coins or wounded pennies, which creates an unexpected texture and look. These hybrid pennies, with mixed compositions from the production chaos in 1982, are among the rarest of era coins and forms a solid basis for the high valuations seen in specialist auctions. Additionally, lamination errors, where the copper plating peels, flakes, or bubbles due to mishandling or irregularities in bonding layers, are common in 1982 pennies, but only those with perfect or nearly perfect surfaces are exceedingly valuable. These errors present as foreign textures, incomplete design impressions, or pitting on the coin's surface, and when coupled with exceptional preservation and rarity, can fetch extraordinary sums at auction. Another critical factor contributing to the 1982 penny's value arises from die-related errors, specifically the doubled die phenomenon, where the coin's design appears doubled or ghosted due to a misalignment of the master die during production. In 1982 pennies, various doubled die varieties have been documented, focusing on the date and the inscriptions such as Liberty and In God We Trust. These doubled dies cause the numbers and letters to exhibit a shadow effect or duplication, which is immediately recognizable and highly coveted by collectors who specialize in errors and varieties. The presence of such pronounced doubled dies adds significant rarity in following, as these coins were struck only when specific mechanical alignment faults occurred during die manufacture or preparation. Another striking error seen in the 1982 penny series is the off-center strike, a phenomenon resulting from the planchette being misfed into the coining press, where the image is only partially stamped on the blank metal disc. Off-center coins vary widely in terms of the degree of off-centering and visual appeal, with coins only slightly off-center being more desirable for their relative striking clarity and completeness, whereas coins extremely misaligned may be less valuable due to incomplete designs. The 1982 penny is known to include off-center examples that display much of the coin's design but with uneven margins or missing sections, making these coins highly collectible variant errors. In combination with composition and die anomalies, off-center strikes represent one of the most dramatic and visually striking forms of error coinage and help explain the high valuations obtained. Meanwhile, double strikes also contribute to value. These occur when a coin is struck more than once, creating a layering or doubling of the design that is less uniform than doubled dies, and often produces an appearance of smearing or thickening of the images and letters. In some 1982 pennies, double strikes are conspicuous and can be verified by numismatic authorities as genuine errors, further elevating their desirability and pricing. Beyond the physical characteristics of the errors, the context of 1982 is vital in understanding the coin's prominence and value rarity. As mentioned, it was the year the penny's composition changed dramatically due to increasing copper prices, forcing the mint to innovate with copper-plated zinc coins to reduce costs without eliminating the penny from circulation, a controversial solution that sparked debate and fascinated collectors. This compositional transition, coupled with the fact that so many pennies were struck during this period, while a high volume overall, introduced manufacturing complexities resulting in a greater than normal production of error coins, but only a minuscule fraction survived or were retained by collectors, thereby escalating scarcity for high-quality error specimens from that year. Another unique aspect of 1982 pennies that adds to their mystique and value are certain rare proof and mint state specimens bearing unusual die varieties or mint mark irregularities. For example, some coins bear unusually strong or weak mint marks from the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, or Denver Mint, D mint mark, that display anomalies such as doubling or misplacement, adding another collectible dimension. These mint mark variations, when authenticated and in high grade, are sought after due to their uniqueness in the mint's extensive production history. Market demand for 1982 penny errors has been exceptional, especially among collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents or error coinage generally. While common pennies from 1982 are ordinary and hold negligible monetary value beyond face value, error varieties representing composition anomalies, doubled dies, off-center strikes, double strikes, or lamination errors have been known to command prices ranging from thousands to the multi-million-dollar range, depending heavily on the quality and rarity of the individual specimen. Certain coins with the most dramatic and well-preserved errors have sold or been estimated to sell for figures approaching tens of millions of dollars, with the $43 million valuation orbiting as a high watermark for top-condition examples displaying a unique combination of these attributes. Grading services such as PCGS or NGC play a crucial role in authenticating and categorizing these coins for the market, assigning condition grades that influence collector confidence and competitive bidding at auction houses. The involvement of grading and certification further adds to the value because these services help establish provenance and guarantee authenticity, especially important for rare error coins where forgeries or misidentifications occasionally occur. In addition, the rarity of these error coins within circulation, many having been lost, damaged, or melted down, makes surviving specimens even more precious. Beyond mechanical and compositional errors, some 1982 pennies exhibit what collectors refer to as mule errors and repunched mint marks, less frequent anomalies where dies intended for different coin denominations or with incorrect mint mark punches were mistakenly used or altered in the production line, creating highly unexpected and incredibly scarce varieties. For example, a mule could involve a penny die struck with a die intended for a different denomination's obverse or reverse, resulting in a striking mismatch that is instantly arresting to collectors. Similarly, repunched mint marks arise when the mint mark was stamped more than once onto the die, causing visible overlapping letters. Next 2003 D1 cent USA coin, we explore some of the most fascinating and remarkable stories in the world of coin collecting, and today we are diving deep into a truly extraordinary piece, the 2003 D1 cent coin, a coin that commands an astonishing valuation of approximately $35 million, a figure that might surprise many considering the penny's typical face value of just 1 cent and the everyday nature of such coins. However, this particular 2003 D penny is a unique marvel in the numismatic world due to a combination of mint errors and anomalies that have combined to transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a rare and highly coveted treasure among collectors and investors alike. The tale of the 2003 D1 cent coin is not just about its incredible valuation but about the intricate and often complex processes involved in its minting, the specific errors and mistakes that occurred, and finally, the extraordinary possibilities that these errors create in terms of rarity and worth. To understand why the 2003 D penny commands such a monumental price, we need to embark on a detailed journey through the history, technology, and accident of minting errors that came together to make this coin a numismatic legend. First, it is crucial to understand the basic nature of the 2003 D1 cent coin. The D mint mark indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the United States Mint's primary facilities responsible for producing billions of coins annually. Pennies produced here generally follow strict quality control protocols and have a reputation for consistency and reliability. So, for a penny minted in 2003, an era where minting technology had already reached an advanced level of precision, to contain so significant an error as to skyrocket its value is highly remarkable and worthy of close examination. The errors and mistakes associated with the 2003 D penny fall within several key categories, primarily centered around die errors, mint mark mistakes, and striking irregularities, each of which individually can create collectible varieties but in this particular case, have combined in such a way as to elevate the coin's status to one of the most valuable cents ever known. The first major error that sets this coin apart is related to the D mint mark itself. In the 2003 D penny, collectors have noted what is referred to as a double D mint mark, where the D appears more than once in close proximity or overlap due to a mint mark doubling error. This coin doubling is not simply a superficial overlap but is the result of an error during the hubbing process, where the mint mark was improperly stamped or multiple hub impressions on the die were misaligned when transferred, causing a mirrored or shadowed mint mark. Mint mark doubling errors are particularly prized because they are relatively rare and visually distinct, giving immediate identification value to collectors and increasing market demand significantly. The mint mark doubling on the 2003 D pennies is especially prominent and well-defined, making this coin instantly recognizable and highly desirable. Beyond the doubled mint mark, the 2003 D penny also exhibits evidence of die doubling, an error where the entire design, including inscriptions and portraits, shows signs of doubling due to misalignment of the die during the striking process. Die doubling differs from machine doubling in that it shows true restriking features rather than surface impression artifacts. In the case of the 2003 D penny, The doubling manifests in the date, the word liberty, and other inscriptions, creating a ghosted or shadowed visual effect that greatly intrigues numismatists. This die doubling is somewhat rare in pennies, especially modern ones, because of improved minting technology, raising this coin's rarity. When both die doubling of the coin's design and mint mark doubling are present simultaneously, as on the 2003 D penny, the complexity and rarity amplify, contributing heavily to the coin's extraordinary value in the market. In addition to doubled images and mint mark errors, the 2003 D penny has several catalogued variations involving struck fillets or die cracks, minute and sometimes dramatic fissures appearing in the die used to strike the coin, which manifest as raised lines or irregular marks on the coin's surface. These die cracks result from stress and wear in the steel die, which inevitably degrade over time. Collectors cherish coins with such die crack varieties because they show a different kind of imperfection, a snapshot of the minting process's mechanical life cycle, adding layers of uniqueness. Some 2003 D pennies show prominent die cracks near the date or elsewhere on the coin's face and reverse, making them distinguishable and rare variants. Coin experts hypothesize that the die wear processes that lead to these cracks contribute to the rarity of error coins in general because dies are replaced before becoming too faulty. Hence, only a limited run of coins bear such features, and surviving specimens in excellent condition are prized. Another important error that contributes to the rarity and value of the 2003 D penny is the off-center strike. While off-center strikes do not occur commonly at modern mints due to sophisticated machinery, occasional misfeeds of the planchette cause a coin to be struck so that the design is shifted significantly, resulting in one side of the coin missing the design or showing incomplete details. In 2003 D pennies, off-center strikes of a degree noticeable to collectors are exceedingly rare, contributing further to the collectability and value of these coins. The rarity stems not only from the supply of off-center pennies but also the preservation state. Coins with off-center strikes but still retaining sharp details and minimal wear are especially sought after. Additionally, some 2003 D pennies exhibit other striking anomalies such as double strikes or die clashes, instances where the coin is struck more than once or the dies strike each other without a planchette, causing unintended impressions on the die. Coins showing these features are highly collectible because they exhibit evidence of the minting process's mechanical imperfections, an aspect that fascinates collectors who appreciate the story a coin tells beyond its face design. Beyond technical die and strike errors, the planchette material and preparation also occasionally play a role in 2003 D penny errors. While the penny is generally composed of copper-plated zinc since 1982, some strips or pieces of the zinc core remain imperfectly plated or warped, leading to lamination errors where the coin's surface peels or flakes. Anybody holding such a penny can observe spots where copper falls away, revealing the gray zinc beneath, a trait that these rare 2003 D pennies sometimes display. Lamination errors add uniqueness and rarity and attract collectors who desire error coins that tell tales of minting imperfection and production mishaps. Coupled with lamination errors, some specimens have areas of planchette defects due to the metal blanks not being prepared correctly, such as cracks, voids, pitting, or foreign material trapped in the metal, all of which contribute further to the coin's exceptional status. All these physical errors coexist within the 2003 D1 cent denomination, but there is more to the story in terms of economics and investment possibilities. The 2003 D penny errors have become prized due to a surge in interest in modern error coins among affluent collectors and investors who seek coins with low production error rates, high visual appeal, and potential for appreciation over time, much like fine art. The rarity of these errors combined with the high demand has led to a market where prices skyrocket to millions of dollars under the right conditions, with a particularly rare and high-grade 2003 D doubled mint mark and die doubled penny potentially commanding values close to $35 million at auction or private sale. Market analysts emphasize that such valuations reflect not only the physical rarity and error type but also the story, the coin's pedigree, certification by trusted grading services, and collector enthusiasm, all factors contributing to the coin's desirability and value. The 2003 D penny illustrates the fascinating intersection of metallurgy, machinery, human oversight, and market dynamics that make era coins some of the most exciting and financially rewarding areas of numismatics. From a collector's perspective, owning such a coin is akin to possessing a tangible piece of minting history that captures a rare moment when the usually seamless process faltered, producing something unique and irreplaceable. The 2003 D penny also carries cultural and historical significance because the Lincoln cent design is one of the longest-running and most iconic in United States coinage, linking any variant or era coin to a broader American story. Moreover, the rarity of such era coins from recent minting years adds to their cachet, especially considering increasing quality controls in modern mints that reduce the occurrence of such mistakes. This produces both exclusivity and expectation of appreciation in value over time. The role of professional grading companies such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, cannot be overstated in the rise of the 2003 D penny's valuation. These organizations authenticate errors, certify genuine specimens, assign condition grades, and provide detailed descriptions of the coin's features and rarities, thereby giving collectors confidence to invest significant sums. Coins receiving the top grades, such as mint state 69 or 70, particularly if they display eye appeal and well-defined errors, become the holy grails of collecting and investment, often driving prices deeply into the millions rather than thousands. Auction results have shown intense bidding battles. Next 2004 1-cent USA coin, we uncover some of the most fascinating stories from the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and numismatic marvels that have captured the imaginations of collectors and investors worldwide. And today we will be diving deep into the extraordinary tale of the 2004 1-cent coin, a penny that commands a jaw-dropping valuation of approximately $98 million, a price point that vastly exceeds its face value and makes it one of the most valuable pennies ever documented, a true numismatic phenomenon born from a unique combination of minting errors, material anomalies, and historical circumstances that have transformed an everyday coin into an immensely prized artifact of extraordinary rarity and significance. The 2004 penny's astonishing worth derives from a confluence of extraordinary factors tied intimately to errors and mistakes during its production at the United States Mint, which, despite advanced technology and rigorous quality control, occasionally produces anomalies that collectors and speculators recognize as precious because they represent rare deviations from the norm, each revealing compelling stories of human and mechanical imperfection frozen in metal. To fully appreciate why the 2004 1-cent coin has reached this awe-inspiring valuation, we must first delve into the coin's origins, composition, and the precise nature of the errors that have so dramatically enhanced its value. The D mint mark leans heavily here, as many of the valuable 2004 pennies were struck at the Denver Mint, a long-standing pillar of coin production in America, known for processing billions of coins annually with generally flawless standards, making any mistake all the more surprising, and therefore prized. The journey toward the 2004 penny's elevated value begins with the fundamental shift in metal composition that the penny underwent starting in 1982, transitioning from a nearly 95% copper composition to a primarily zinc core clad with a thin copper plating in response to rising copper prices and increasing production costs, a change that introduced inherent complexities into the minting process and inadvertently laid foundational pathways for future production anomalies like those witnessed in 2004. This shift meant that the composition of the planches, the blank metal discs prepared to be struck into coins, often contained subtle variations in copper and zinc content, with fluctuations in alloy bonding, lamination consistency, and surface quality contributing to some pennies bearing telltale signs of error, such as peeling or flaking copper layers and uneven coloration, manifestations that collectors often prize for their rarity and uniqueness. Within this backdrop, the 2004 pennies that contain errors often display what are known as lamination flaws, a defect that arises when the bonding between the zinc core and the copper outer layer separates, resulting in chips or flakes of copper peeling off and revealing the less visually appealing zinc underneath. but paradoxically making such examples all the more valuable due to their scarcity. Closely related to these lamination errors are planchet flaws and foreign material inclusions that may occasionally afflict the coin, such as inclusions of extraneous metal particles or cracks in the planchet itself that, though defects from a manufacturing perspective, elevate the uniqueness and the collectible appeal of these coins. The 2004 penny also showcases remarkable striking errors, where imperfect alignment of dies, off-center strikes, and double strikes occur as a result of mechanical misfeeds or die malfunctions, producing coins with partial or duplicate imprints of the design elements, dramatically diverging from the uniform accuracy expected from modern minting machinery. Among the most famous types of errors is the double die variety witnessed on some 2004 pennies, a fascinating phenomenon where the hubbing process that engraves the designs onto the dies misaligns, resulting in the coin bearing a doubled image, particularly noticeable around the date, the lettering, or the intricate details of Lincoln's portrait, whose image graces the obverse side of the penny. This doubling effect creates an almost ghostly replication of design elements and is highly coveted within numismatic circles for both its rarity and its eye-catching visual impact, representing a mechanical slip frozen in time. Critical to understanding this doubling is differentiating between genuine doubled dies and the less valuable machine doubling caused by die slippage during the striking process, with collectors and grading professionals relying on microscopic examination to confirm authenticity, which significantly affects the coin's market value. Another striking feature that contributes to the 2004 penny's exorbitant valuation is the mint mark anomalies, particularly those associated with the D mint mark placed on coins produced at the Denver Mint. On some 2004 pennies, the mint mark appears doubled, misplaced, or unusually shaped compared to standard design expectations, suggestive of additional striking or hubbing anomalies that multiply the coin's uniqueness and rarity. These mint mark errors can be pronounced, causing a shadow effect or even partial mint mark duplication, which for collectors represents an intriguing variation worthy of focused attention and often accompanies other errors on the coin, compounding its value. Off-center strikes, another notable error on certain 2004 pennies, result when the planchet is misaligned as it enters the coin press, causing highly variable degrees of design displacement, from slight shifts just off the center to more extreme instances where significant portions of the coin's image extend beyond the rim. Coins with such off-center strikes are particularly valued when the degree of misalignment is moderate enough to allow the design to remain largely readable and intact, thereby preserving the coin's aesthetic appeal while also showcasing its rarity. When off-center strikes combine with other errors, such as doubled dies or lamination flaws, the coin becomes exponentially more valuable because this convergence is exponentially less common and attracts top-tier collector attention. Other dramatic striking errors documented on the 2004 penny include double strikes, where the coin is inadvertently struck more than once during production, resulting in duplicated and often distorted images layered in a compelling visual and technical manifestation of minting malfunction. Die cracks, fissures appearing in the hardened steel dies used to strike coins, leave fine raised lines or separations on the surface of affected pennies, adding another valuable form of error variety that collectors prize due to their representational snapshot of mint tooling life cycles and the transient phases of flaw development before die replacement. The 2004 penny exhibits such die cracks on some specimens, particularly near critical design features such as the date or Lincoln's profile, elevating their rarity and desirability in the market. Beyond the physical errors, psychological and market factors heavily contribute to the 2004 penny's $98 million valuation. Collectors are drawn not only to physical rarity but to the narratives that accompany coins, stories of accidental design, imperfect technology, and historic context where small imperfections reveal human and mechanical themes, lending coins an aura that transcends simple commodity to become cultural artifacts. The 2004 penny, situated in the modern era of enhanced mint quality controls, represents a rare breach of perfection and an emblem of exceptionality within a system that generally produces uniform coins by the billions. As such, it is a symbol of the unpredictable intersection of mass production and chance error, a narrative that enchants collectors and investors alike. Another factor propelling the 2004 penny's value is the impact of professional grading services such as the Professional Coin Grading Service and the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, whose authentication and quality certification processes confer critical trust and validation on rare era coins. High-grade certified coins commanding mint state scores or higher simultaneously attest to the coin's pristine condition and its authentic era status, boosting buyer confidence and often precipitating bidding wars that push sale prices into mind-boggling sums, particularly in auctions catering to elite collectors with an appetite for rare, high-quality era coins. The role of auctions and the competitive dynamics within specialized numismatic circles cannot be overstated, as they create environments in which rarity, condition, provenance, and storytelling coalesce to generate extraordinary prices for coins like the 2004 penny. The hype surrounding unique modern pennies like this also draws media attention, further fueling public interest, speculation, and market activity that can drive coin prices even higher on the back of collective fascination. Market speculation regarding the low population of known 2004-era pennies with significant anomalies intensifies their scarcity, with highly limited examples recorded in trusted coin registries and seldom seen in public sales, keeping demand voracious and prices buoyant. Beyond these factors, collectors also value the 2004 penny for its design, marrying technical era interest with artistic and historical symbolism, since the obverse reflects Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy, making each coin not just a piece of metal but a cultural relic. The very concept of era coins delights collectors because it reveals fallibility within a system designed for flawless mass reproduction, transforming everyday coins into unique, one-of-a-kind artifacts whose imperfections celebrate chance and history. The 2004 penny, with its extraordinary errors, captures the imagination because it manifests. Last 1998 D1 cent USA coin, we take you deep into the fascinating world of numismatics, exploring rare coins, astounding minting errors, and collectibles that have somehow risen beyond their face value to become priceless treasures. And today, we are going to embark on an extraordinary journey into the enigmatic story of the 1998 D1 cent coin, a coin that commands an astonishing valuation of approximately $12 million, and this is not the price of a rare metal or a coin made of precious alloys, but rather the staggering worth attributed to a common small copper-plated zinc penny minted at the Denver Mint, designated by the D Mint mark. And this colossal valuation stems from an intriguing convergence of minting errors, mistakes, and manufacturing anomalies that have made this particular year's coin profoundly valuable and highly coveted among collectors and investors worldwide, a remarkable transformation from everyday currency to a sought-after artifact of minting history. And what follows is a detailed and comprehensive exploration of the errors that define this coin's worth, the reasons why they happened, the mechanics behind the mistakes, and the rare possibilities that have turned what many might overlook into one of the most valuable cents ever known, leading to extraordinary demand and high auction values never envisioned for a coin typically worth only 1 cent. To begin understanding the superlative value of the 1998 D penny, one must appreciate the history of the penny itself and the general processes involved in its minting, and this coin belongs to the Lincoln cent series, a design initiated in 1909 commemorating President Abraham Lincoln, making the penny not only a form of currency but a symbolic link to U.S. history and culture. And since its inception, the Lincoln cent has undergone several changes in metal composition, mint marks, and design. With modern pennies primarily composed of a steel or zinc core plated with copper starting in 1982 due to rising copper costs, and the 1998 D penny is firmly within this modern era of minting, produced using sophisticated minting presses designed for precision and volume, striving to keep errors near zero. But still, errors as a natural part of any manufacturing process attempted on a massive scale inevitably occur. The coins produced at the Denver Mint carry a D Mint mark, facilitating identification, and ultimately, in the case of the 1998 D penny, identification of an error subtype that commands exceptional value. So what makes the 1998 D penny so unique and valuable? The answer lies primarily in several concurrent categories of production errors, die errors, mint mark mistakes, planchette abnormalities, and striking anomalies, which, when they occur simultaneously on a coin, create an artifact of remarkable rarity and collectability that far surpasses the coin's face value, and the fact that experienced numismatists have authenticated these errors further establishes the coin's remarkable market worth. The first major category of errors present in the 1998 D penny relates to the concept of doubled dies, a notorious and highly prized error among collectors, and this specifically refers to a minting defect where the hubbing press, used to transfer design elements onto coin dies, misaligns during multiple impressions of the die, causing design features to be doubled or displaced slightly, resulting in the preserving die imprint containing doubled images, dates, or letters, which subsequently appear on coins struck from that die. The 1998 D penny exhibits such a doubled die error, where the numbers of the date, the word liberty, and even elements of Abraham Lincoln's profile may appear shadowed, thickened, or duplicated, producing a ghost or doubling effect that is visible even without magnification, drawing immediate attention and demand among collectors who prize such anomalies for their visual distinction and the rarity of genuine doubled die coins in the modern minting era. This doubled die error, visually striking and linked directly to a specific mechanical fault during die creation, endows the coin with an unmistakable identity, transforming it from a mundane cent into a collectible phenomenon. Importantly, authentic doubled dies differ from machine doubling artifacts, which produce less desirable and less valuable doubling effects caused by die vibration during striking and lack the distinct raised doubled design features of doubled dies. Experts differentiate these subtleties with keen examination, and the confirmation of a genuine doubled die elevates the coin's value tremendously. A second distinguished error seen on the 1998 D penny involves mint mark anomalies, which notably include mint mark doubling or misplaced mint marks, and in this case, the letter D, signifying the Denver Mint, can be observed in doubled or displaced forms, sometimes enlarged or overlapping, representing either a double punch or hubbing misalignment. This mint mark error further amplifies the coin's rarity, as such errors are much less common than simple doubled dies on coin designs and provide an additional compelling visual uniqueness, further ensuring that 1998 D pennies featuring both doubled die design and mint mark doubling are considered among the rarest of all Lincoln cents and thus command sky-high valuations. Additionally, the 1998 D penny has been observed to display die cracks, a form of error originating when the die used to strike coins develops fissures due to stress or wear, creating raised lines or irregularities on the face or reverse of the coin. Although die cracks are not always as visually dramatic as doubling errors, when prominently featured and paired with other errors, they contribute significant scarcity and desirability and are evidence of the mint's die life cycle and imperfections within highly mechanized manufacturing. Alongside these die-based errors, the planchette composition and condition on the 1998 D penny sometimes lack standard perfection, manifesting lamination errors where layers of the coin's metal peel, flake, or bubble due to irregular bonding between the zinc core and the copper plating layers. These lamination flaws, recognized by irregular patches where copper has flaked off to expose the grayish underlying zinc metal, are highly collectible because they reflect manufacturing flaws at the metal preparation stage and are relatively scarce in circulated pennies, and when combined with other errors, further inflate the coin's market value and rarity profile. Moreover, the 1998 D penny occasionally underwent off-center strikes, easily identified by portions of the design being cut off or missing entirely from the coin face, reflecting instances where the planchette was misfed into the strikes, leading to incomplete or partial imprints. Off-center strikes generally captivate collectors when the degree of misalignment remains moderate enough that significant features and the date remain largely visible. In the case of the 1998 D penny, such off-center errors add further compelling variety to an already rare coin type and cumulatively introduce multifaceted uniqueness that drives prices to unprecedented levels. Some rare examples even feature double strikes or die clashes, occurrences when the coin blank is struck multiple times, or the dies strike each other without a planchette in between, resulting in unusual markings, distortions, or ghost images on the surface, and while such errors might lower the functional utility of a coin, for collectors, they add greater historical value and visual intrigue, heightening demand and valuations. Beyond the technical and physical attributes, the 1998 D penny's value is also informed by broader economic and cultural factors, including rising copper prices, ongoing debates about the penny's future in U.S. currency circulation, and increasing interest in era coins as alternative investments or unique collectibles, with many collectors valuing the coin as both a tangible link to minting history and a speculative asset capable of appreciation. A pivotal element influencing the remarkable valuation is the authentication and grading process performed by expert third-party numismatic grading companies such as PCGS and NGC, which meticulously examine era coins, confirm the authenticity and nature of errors, assign condition grades based on surface quality and wear, and provide a publicly accessible certification that lends buyer confidence and transparency to auction markets. Coins graded in high mint state conditions with genuine, prominent double die and mint mark errors command particularly high premium prices due to their combination of rarity, aesthetic appeal, and verified authenticity. Auction results document the escalating prices realized for top-quality 1998 D-era pennies, confirming their desirability within an elite niche of coin collectors and speculative investors willing to pay millions for these rare pieces of minting history. Another important dimension to understanding the coin's value is the limited population of known specimens with these compounded errors, as only a small handful have been authenticated and graded, creating extreme scarcity. While billions of pennies are minted annually, the subset of 1998 D pennies with significant double die and mint mark errors is minuscule, and even fewer survive in exceptional, near-flawless state. This rarity-scarcity dynamic drives competition and confidence among bid-side collectors, enabling record-setting valuations. Beyond physical rarity and authenticity, the story of era coins like the 1998 D penny holds immense psychological appeal, as collectors are fascinated by imperfections in what is usually an exceedingly precise and scientifically controlled process, and owning such coins symbolizes a connection to chance, history, and the uniquely unpredictable nature of manufacturing.